Hi all, I'm Al Deldegan, the creator and producer of the LIBI podcast. This 100% volunteer-run show was born out of the Rainforest Alberta movement and features incredible people who are leaders, innovators, and have big ideas. This episode is hosted by Rea Hailley. Rea is starting a new series, and this is the first episode. So take it away, Rea.
Hi everyone, I'm Rea Hailley from New Idea Machine. Every day I have the absolute pleasure of speaking to the most incredible entrepreneurs who are making a real difference. In this special series, I'm shining a spotlight on some of the most captivating women I've met. Welcome to 5 Questions and 1 Wild Story, Fempreneurs to Watch For. Today, we've got the amazing Cat Seier from The Connection Edge joining us. Get ready for her infectious laugh and incredible energy. You're going to love her. Hi, Cat. Welcome to the show. Super excited to have you on. Okay, so as we discussed, 5 quick questions, 1 wild story. Are you ready to start?
Oh gosh, ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay, brilliant. Here we go. All right, so Cat Seier, tell me, what drove you to become an entrepreneur? And who is it exactly that you help?
Oh gosh, I didn't want to become an entrepreneur. That is not what I set out to be. I was doing job search last year after being laid off, and I had some really cool opportunities come my way, but they just didn't fit, right? They're like that beautiful dress, but it's just the shoulders don't fit or it's just a little bit too tight. And so even though they were really cool, I had to say no to them. And then I just kept looking and yeah, there wasn't a box that I fit in. But what I did notice is that I was attending a ton of networking events, a ton of workshops and conventions and all that kind of stuff, because I really was trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
And I love knowledge and learning and meeting new humans. And so this goes into the why, or the who do I help? I kept seeing all of these amazing professionals that you could tell that they were so passionate and so knowledgeable about what they were talking about on stage, but it just wasn't translating. Like I'd either walk away being like, what was that? Or, oh man, like I'm never getting that hour back. Or you'd look around the room and people were just glazed over, and it just broke my heart. And so I was like, I need to do something about this. I need to help these people so that their passion and knowledge can translate and can shine through. And then on the other side of people that are working and wanting to grow their skills and be seen as a professional and an expert in their domain. And then on the flip side, I started just talking about my journey about networking and that it doesn't have to suck and that it can be fun and it can be interesting. And so then that's how that piece of my business started. So I didn't look for this.
I love it. Accidental entrepreneur.
Definitely.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've dived into the problem that you're trying to solve and why, which is fantastic, because I agree with you. A lot of people have a lot of incredible knowledge to share, but they may not know the best way to share that knowledge. All right, so
absolutely. It's 2 different skill sets.
It is, and it does take practice. Okay, so why is this important to you, like personally?
If you go on my LinkedIn profile, my banner is like a runway with birds flying.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that. And it's personal to me because I love seeing people soar. And on the opposite side, seeing people crash into the water, I just like, that the empath of me just breaks a little bit for them. And yeah, I just love helping people soar and helping people find their wings and their voice and seeing those ahas. I think that's the whole reason I got into adult education in the first place, is just to see those ahas, whether it's a skill that someone's learning or a concept or even groundbreaking therapy things. Just those changes in perspective, I think, are so beautiful.
Agreed. Okay, so I have to ask, even though this is not one of our questions, who's somebody that helped you soar?
Oh gosh, I've had so many people. So I was a boxer in one of my past lives. I fought professionally, or not professionally, amateur. I was an amateur fighter. but I fought nationally and in the US and all that kind of stuff. And I think and boxing has just recently come back into my life, even though it's been about 20 years. So I'm sure there's some kind of message there. But I guess what I'm sharing is with I had a coach that really helped me soar, and she actually became like my mom. There was very few women in boxing 20 years ago. And so just to have that mentorship and that support, I think really made a difference. And she said something to me that I say to everybody, even now, like going into giving a presentation, that if you're not nervous to get in the ring, you shouldn't be there, because that's when you get hurt, right? And that's when you don't care. And that's when you don't see the danger coming or the punch coming or whatever it is. And always want to be nervous when you're going to do something important.
I heard that. Somebody told me that before I went parachuting. And I'm scared of heights. So that was quite the experience. Okay, brilliant.
Oh, no kidding. Congratulations on taking on that fear.
Yes. I don't think I'll ever do it again. But I did do it and I survived. So it's all good.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, brilliant. So next question. What's the one thing that surprised you since becoming an entrepreneur? And does doubt ever creep in?
What surprises me about being an entrepreneur? It's the community. I think you can do it alone if you want to, but you definitely don't have to.
Yeah.
And I think the really cool thing talking about my business and then meeting other entrepreneurs is just the sense of community that there's there and the camaraderie, because it's a very different life than going to work for someone else 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. There's different things that you have to consider, different fears, different struggles, different triumphs. And so, yeah, just that sense of community is really cool.
That's brilliant. I agree with you 100%. All right. And what about doubt? Do you ever question, what you're doing? Why are you doing it?
Every minute of every day.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And what's really cool is I keep trying to find ways to invalidate my business idea, right? Just to make sure that I'm on the right track. And so I was like, okay, AI, let's talk about AI. Is this going to be a viable business in 5 years? Because there's so many tools coming on the market that you can plug things in and create a presentation like really quite easily. And there's 101 million videos on how to create a presentation and how to show up and how to network and all that kind of stuff. And I am using these tools and they're just perpetuating bad presentations.
Ooh, okay.
And like when you go and look at all of the advice on the internet about networking, again, it's just perpetuating bad networking and really that transactional experience, because neither one of them have to be hard, but you also have to remember the human.
Yes. Now, another side question. Do you find that more introverts or extroverts come to your event?
I think that's the really cool thing is both.
Nice.
Yeah, because extroverts, on the presentation side of things, extroverts usually have a million things going on, right? They have a million ideas. They don't know how to focus them. They're like, oh, I want to talk about all the things all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas like introverts are like, okay, I don't know how to own my voice, right? Or tell my story. And then on the networking side, I think both things. I think people are getting tired of bad networking and that transactional effect. And so people are coming to the networking events and looking into better ways to connect with people and create genuine connections. And so that's what brings the extroverts, and the introverts come because it's structured. Yeah. And I've started in talks with partnerships with businesses and different, both like higher ed as well as corporate businesses, of like, how do we bring this into the business and teach people how to connect better? Because lots of times they have to do networking that's not necessarily part of their role, but just being out in the community, they end up doing it. So I think that's a really cool thing too, is that it's not just at the individual level, it's also growing into a bigger audience.
Agreed. All right. So last question before we get to the wild story. What's one piece of advice that you would impart onto other fempreneurs?
That you don't need any more credentials.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. But yes, you don't need more credentials. You just need more space.
Yes.
Take up more space, because I talk to a lot of, and that's actually coming into my third product, which is going to be called Room to Rise.
Ooh.
And that is going to be both of the aspects of networking and building connections, but then also how do you refine and craft your message, whether that's just one-on-one, whether that's in front of a room, whatever it is. But then also, like, how do you take away those limiting beliefs so that you can show up and own the room and walk in with confidence and walk out with meaningful connections that are going to open doors? And because really a door is just one conversation.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't believe in like the right person. We get this advice that you have to be in the right room and talk to the right person, but every person is the right person.
I love that.
Yeah. And so that big advice of you don't need more credentials. You just need to put yourself out there and you need to believe in yourself.
Yeah. Crafting that message is quite challenging for a lot of people. I know it certainly was for me, and I'm still working on it on a daily basis. So I can imagine that having your guidance and expertise can really help someone just become laser focused and communicate effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Brilliant. All right. So last question. What's your wildest story?
Oh, gosh. You warned me that this was coming, and I'm just like, oh, my goodness. And like some respects, I feel like my whole life has been a wild story.
You can share that too. It can be personal or work related.
Okay, I think it is going to be personal, and it's how I met my husband, actually, or not how I met him, but what happened in our first 3 weeks. So we both met at running. We both did marathon training. Mm-hmm. And so we met at a running group, and we were friends for probably about 3 years prior to talking and going on a date and that kind of thing. And so we'd only been dating for 3 weeks. And before that, I was like, oh, what races are you doing this year? What's your plans? And so he said he's doing Vegas and New Orleans and I think a couple other ones. And I was like, oh, wow, Vegas, that's really cool. I've never been to Vegas. And he's like, you've never been to the race in Vegas or you've never been to Vegas? And I was like, no, I've never been to Vegas. He's like, why don't you come with me? I was like, okay, sure. I have a WestJet credit card. I have a buddy pass. I had the hotels paid for already. Just come. And I was like, whoa, gosh, okay. And so the rock and roll marathon in Vegas is in November. So he was like, send me a message later on. I was like, hey, let's take advantage of the November holidays. And then another message a couple days later was like, hey, the flights are cheaper this day. Can you come? And it ended up being an 8-day trip to Las Vegas, 3 weeks into dating him.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's intense.
Yes. So I was actually a flight attendant at the time for a smaller airline. And so I put in a standby pass with our head office. And my friend from the pass office called and she was like, oh, you can't have this flight. It's not far enough out because we had these really silly rules. And I was like, it's okay. I don't plan on using it because it was a one-way Vegas to Calgary. And I was like, it's okay. I don't plan on using it, but I'm Vegas for 8 days with a guy I just met and I need a parachute.
Yes. Yes. And clearly you didn't need to use the parachute.
I didn't need to use the parachute. No.
I love that. Okay. Now I have to ask, did you guys get married in Vegas?
No,
okay.
We didn't actually.
Okay.
No. Yeah. We got married in Calgary.
Nice. So you were able to wait till you guys got back and then invite the family and do it all.
Yes, it was like 5 years later that we got married.
Okay.
So that part took a long time.
Brilliant. And how long have you been together now?
10 years this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's beautiful.
But the reason I chose that one is I think that it speaks really well to my personality of jumping in with both feet and doing things that make me feel uncomfortable, but also having a backup plan.
Yes, having that parachute.
Yes.
Brilliant. I love it. Thank you so much, Kat. I really appreciate your time. This has been a fantastic little interview, getting to know you and your parachute story and a little bit about your background and all the great things that you're doing to help fempreneurs. And I can't wait to see all the amazing events and products that you're going to be putting out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This has been fun chatting with you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kat.
I hope you enjoyed the show. why not become a podcast host yourself? LIBI is a community podcast, and we would love to have your voice as a host or a guest. Check out show.libi.ca for more information, show notes, and links for every episode.
This episode is brought to you by New Idea Machine, a unique blend of a tech incubator and a software development powerhouse. We're not just building software, we're crafting the next generation of homegrown tech wizards. Got a project in mind or looking to hire fresh talent? Reach out and let's make tech magic happen. Visit newideamachine.com for more info.
Music for the show was created by Tony Del Deegan.